Hey, if you're looking at what's going on in the world right now and you're kind of paying attention to some things, I know it's probably stressful. I feel you. It is stressful. I want to ask just for a second to put all that stuff off to the side and let's focus on some things that you can do to take your power back and to build resilience for you and your family. Because if we're relying on these systems that are outside of our control, it's just going to beat us down over and over. And we've seen that. I'm 39 years old. I've seen that twice now in my life where the economy tanks and it's outside of my control and it's been challenging. The first time it was more challenging than the second time. So I want to share with you 10 things that you can do to build resilience for you, for your family, for your community. And these 10 things I'm going to go over in a class that starts this Thursday in way more detail, but I wanted to go ahead and share those 10 things with you so that you can start with them right now, or at least start thinking about them. So my name is Scott Bunn. I'm a homestead developer, tradesman, and a teacher. And I've been started off building custom homes when I was 11 years old. And so I've been building custom projects and homes and metal fabrication for over 25 years. And then I got into homestead development after the 2008 economy crash. So if you're old enough to remember that, for me, I was building a custom home with my family. It was the biggest and nicest house we'd ever built. And I thought everything was gravy. And then all of a sudden I went to work one day and the homeowner was like, "Hey, we're done here." It's like a slap in the face. He's like, "We're done here. I can't get any more money from the bank and I can't pay you the $80,000 that I owe you. And sorry, you got to go home." So we went home with our tails between our legs, and I just really buckled down and looked at like what happened here. Why did the economy crash? And I learned that the economy crashes every 8 to 12 years. I confirmed that with my grandmother. I asked her, she was about 70 something at the time, and she said, "Yeah, it's been about 7 times in my life it's crashed." Now, when the economy crashes, if you're not ready for it, a lot of people lose. You lose your house that you worked for, your cars, your whatever, boats, your business. So I decided at that point that I wanted to be ready and I wanted to build resilience. All right, so this is a little bonus of something you can do. Make a list of all of your expenses and go down that list and see what you can start producing at home. Now that's what I did, and I started realizing that I needed to grow food. I needed to get rid of my new truck that I had a car payment on. I needed to start renting out some space in my house, and that's how the whole Seneca Treehouse project began. So I don't know if I told you, I'm the founder of the Seneca Treehouse Project and Treehouse Trade School. We're located in Seneca, South Carolina. The Seneca Treehouse Project is a permaculture learning center and Airbnb. We're on Lake Hartwell. It's a really pretty spot. You can come here and learn about small-scale homestead development. So I've been in the trades since I was a kid, and my dad was in the trades, and he was also a teacher, and my grandfather was in the trades, and he was a teacher, and my great-grandparents were farmers. So this, homestead development has been in my family for multiple generations. So through this this process for me, through this process of developing, producing the things that I needed rather than buying them all. I didn't realize it at first, but I was actually developing my own homestead. And I've said that word a couple times, but if you're unfamiliar with what a homestead is, I've defined it as a residence that provides for its inhabitants. So most of us are living in a place where we're pouring money into our house, paying for a mortgage, paying for energy, buying our food, paying for fuel to put in our car. And it's kind of a never-ending rat race, to get the things that we need. But even if you don't own land, you can get into homesteading. But if you do own land, it's super easy. And that's what this whole class is about. This class that I'm doing is dedicated to helping you helping you get into homesteading, and not only get into it, but save. If you're already in homesteading, you could even save money. I'm estimating that you'll save anywhere between $30,000 to $100,000 or more over the development of your homestead. And I'll give you one example here in a minute of how you can save like close to $30,000 just with one thing. All right, so a homestead is a residence that provides for its inhabitants. That's my definition that I came up with just as a simple way of explaining it. Now I'm going to give you 10 things right now that you can do. And then if you want to learn more about these 10 things, I want to invite you to sign up for the class that is starting on Thursday, this Thursday, the 27th. And that class, I think if I hadn't mentioned it already, that class is meeting once a week, every Thursday at 7 o'clock with me live on Zoom. And you'll have access to the recordings, and you'll also have access to the we're going to do some video renderings and updated recordings through time, so you'll have access to that. But and I'm going to give out a free copy of my book and this cool water bottle and this t-shirt, except for your t-shirt won't have stains on it like mine does, because I wear mine to work every day. All right, so the 10 things that you can do starting right now to start building resilience for you and your family. One is the assessment, where you do a personal assessment. You're assessing your skills, your desires, your values, and doing that along with your family so that everybody can be on the same page moving forward, so you're not all scattered out and going in different directions and arguing about every little thing. Then land assessment, looking at all of your land's resources and doing a careful assessment and walk about your property. These are things that we do with our clients as we do permaculture designs and homestead development projects for other people. These are two of the things that I do with them first thing. And when you sign up for a class, I'll give you the forms and I'll give you a lot more details on that. But the next thing is a low maintenance garden mindset. That's another class that I put together. It's its own class, but I'm rolling it into this one. And that is helping busy people build resilience, changing your mindset and a way of thinking about gardening, and putting things in place that can continue to produce for you with very little effort. A lot of people get into gardening and it's a lot of work. And for me, I didn't have time to do full-time gardening, so I had to choose the things that I could plant and put in place, and then they would produce for me and continue producing a return. All right, then if you're not familiar with permaculture, learn about permaculture. Permaculture is a nature mimicry design science. Now that in itself is a certification course, but for this live class, I'm just doing an in-depth introduction to permaculture, where we're going through the ethics, the pattern understanding, the principles, concepts and themes, zones and sectors. Zones and sectors is huge. That one aspect can save you a ton of time and frustration if you just position your food and your farm and the development of your land in a way where the high maintenance things are close to your house and the low maintenance things are far away. By the way, if you guys will get any value from this, please share this video with other people, because I want to share this. I want to just help our world, the people of the world and of the nation, just come up together. So please share this with your friends. Aspect number 4, the minimalist toolkit. Now, I go through the basic tools that you need to build just about anything. Those are a tool belt. If you're going to be building and doing construction, get a tool belt, tool pouch. When you're building stuff, I build stuff like almost every day. When you're building stuff, if you don't have your primary tools on your body and you're chasing down your hammer or your tape measure, or you're like, oh, where did I put my pencil? Think about how much time you lose in footsteps and inefficiencies. So this one thing itself, just getting the right tools, knowing how to use them, knowing how to place them for your job so that you don't have to waste a bunch of time and energy chasing things down. Another part of the minimalist toolkit is the battery kit. I use battery tools almost all the time because a lot of my stuff is going everywhere. If we're doing a larger project and we're making a lot of cuts, then I'll get the electric tools out and run extension cords. But battery tools, I know there's everything's battery powered nowadays, but really efficient way of doing things. So I go through all of those tools and how to use them. Then we'll do tool bucket or box or bag. It's like all the other little hand tools that you need, plumbing and electrical and miscellaneous tools that you'll need to, again, build just about anything on your homestead. Then we have hand tools like forks, pitchforks and shovels and post hole drivers and stuff like that. So you don't have to buy all these tools new, by the way. You can get them used, and if you have the list of tools and you know how to use them, that's going to save you a ton, because you can work on things rather than just hiring somebody every time you need something. You can do a little bit on your own. Housing and other buildings. There are a lot of things to consider with your house and the way you build it and the positioning. And there's one chapter in my book here. This is passive heating chapter, but depending on where you are in the globe, this could be different. But this one chapter will say a lot about how you can position your house to save energy. Okay, so for instance, if your electric bill, you just build your house however you want to build it, your electric bill could be $350 a month. But if you build it intentionally and you adjust the positioning and build it with certain methods, you could save $200 a month in electricity. Now, $200 a month over the course of 10 years is $24,000 in itself. Okay, so do you see how you could save easily $30,000 to $100,000 or more over the development of your homestead? So these are all things I'll go into detail more in the class. What's next? Earning income. Lots of ways to earn income. So talk about saving money. We've been talking about saving money. Now we're talking about making money. Lots of ways to make money on your property through your homestead, with education, with housing, food sales. I know people that sell worms, sell black soldier fly larvae. It sounds gross, but they're awesome. People sell bees, seeds, plants. There's a lot of ways. We sell timber, we sell lumber, we sell tables. We'll sell lumber, and then we'll build tables and put them in our Airbnb, and we sell the Airbnb, and then we sell the tables on top of that. We sell eggs to the Airbnb guests. There's a lot of ways to produce income. So you can start doing that. And, you might even get to the point where you can sell a car, or your fuel expense goes down by $300 a month because you're not having to travel nearly as much. So there's a lot of ways that you can save money and build wealth for you and your family. And, all of this stuff is exciting for your kids. If you have kids, kids love this stuff. My kids go out and play in the pond all the time. They're scooping fish out of the pond and catching frogs and tadpoles. I would much rather my children be out there doing that than being inside on the video games all the time. And again, we only have 4/10 of an acre here. So we're only really utilizing we use the whole thing, but the kids only play on 2/10 of an acre, maybe not even that. All right, so what's next? Earning income. Fencing and animals. If you want, meat and eggs, that's one thing. If you don't want meat and eggs, animals can still be a great benefit for soil building. So we'll talk about all of that, what animals to get, how to keep them protected, maybe livestock guardian dogs, and different fencing types and heights that are appropriate for different animals. Governance and automation. There are a lot of things that you can do to automate your systems if you find yourself doing things over and over again. It could be watering your plants. For some people, they enjoy that, and I would enjoy that too, actually, if I didn't have anything else to do. But for me, I have so many other things to do that it's like, I have got to put in irrigation. I got to put in systems to do that. Now that's one simple example. Also, your mission, vision, and values, your standard operating procedures, instructional videos. So we're going to talk about a lot of those things that you can do to put in place so you don't have to keep repeating yourself over and over. Next thing is growing fuel and producing energy. Did you know that you can run a gasoline engine on wood gas? Wood, when it burns, is it's actually, wood is a bunch of gas sequestered into a solid. And when it gets hot, it releases the gas, it gasifies, and what's actually burning is the smoke. So if you Google wood gas generator, you'll see pictures. This was done a lot in World War II. It's a lot easier to do with carbureted engines than it is with fuel-injected engines, although there's probably a way you can do it with fuel-injected engines too. But that is possible, to run your automobile on wood gas. Now, it's also, I have diesel truck and diesel equipment. I've run my truck and equipment on 100% biodiesel, which is grown, which comes from plants and insects. You can actually use some insects to produce biodiesel as well. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about different ways of cooking and using solar, wind, and geothermal, and some other alternative energy sources. And then the last aspect is lumber milling basics. Now, this isn't for everybody, but if you do want to mill some wood, or you're considering that, you obviously have to have access to a lumber mill of some sort. But during our class, we're going to go over the different types of lumber milling and tree species to use. We will look at how to cut those trees and preserve them so that the ends of the logs don't crack and check. And then once it is milled, how to dry it, how to stack it, and so it can dry properly. And then also different species and their different applications. This shelf right behind me, this is a tree that we took down and we milled it, we dried it, and then we built something out of it. And we do that all the time for clients, and we do it for our own projects as well. And I've got my countertop is covered right now, but it's a eastern red cedar countertop with some epoxy. In fact, blue epoxy here. Let me show you. I gotta show you. Pretty cool. So yeah, this is eastern red cedar, blue epoxy countertop. So anyways, a lot of cool stuff you can do by milling your own wood. So I hope this is something that helps you, this video itself. If you want to take the class, click on the link below. And if you're having trouble finding the link, go to treehousetradeschool.com and join that. This class goes live. Our first class will be April 27th. We will be recording the classes, so if you happen to miss a class, you can have the recording. But if you're live with me, bring your questions, anything you want to ask. If by chance I don't know the answer to the question during that class, I will research and find out and learn for myself so that I've got a lot of great resources and friends and books. I've got a whole library of stuff that I will find out the best practices and best answer for you to save you that time. Because that is part of my job here at Treehouse Trade School, is to develop a magic formula to help people master the trade and to create a resilient homestead. So I know that we all want to have more strength, more power, more resilience. We want to do a good job taking care of our family. That's why I'm doing this. I have 2 boys, and I care so much about helping them to grow, to be strong, and to be able to. It's so cool to watch them go around right now and just identify. I mean, my 3-year-old and my 7-year-old both, and they, Miles and Abel, they go around and they find all this edible stuff, and they bring it in, and we cook it. They're like getting into culinary stuff, and and different ways of making things taste better. And they love, I mean, it's just so nice for them to be able to go out and provide for themselves. You know, they can go out and find things that they can eat. I mean, even my 3-year-old's like finding stuff, and I have him check with me, you know, but he's like, hey, this is edible, right? And I'm like, yeah, that is. So, you know, that's awesome. I want that for every family in the world, you know, to be able to do that. So click on the link, check out the class. Feel free to send me a message directly if you would like to ask anything. I'm here to help, and I want to I just want to do the best I can and offer the greatest service possible in helping you develop your homestead. Thank you so much for watching, y'all. Again, my name is Scott Bunn here at the Seneca Treehouse Project, founder of Treehouse Trade School. I hope y'all have a beautiful night, and I hope to see you on Thursday.